Hi everyone, welcome to this video, which is going to be a review and how to upgrade to something a much more realistic, this version of Handbrake. Now I got this Handbrake I think either on Banggood or AliExpress, but I'll dig out the link to it and put it in the description. I bought it so long ago that I can't actually remember how much it cost me, but somewhere between £40 and £60. So I'm going to say it was about £50 delivered, which is not a lot of money, I suppose. But the thing I'm going to start by saying is that it's not very good. It's not very realistic feel. It's got this coil spring in it, and therefore you get a very linear spring rate, very linear deflection. So it does feel, and it's way too soft. It doesn't feel anything like a real handbrake. I'm sure it does allow you to play, rally games or whatever, but I don't think it's going to give you a great deal of immersion because it just doesn't feel right. So, but it's clever in other ways. As you can see, this is a hydraulic fly-off handbrake I bought ages ago. I don't really know why I bought it, to be honest. I just bought it. It was £25–30 on one of these cheap Chinese sites. And you can see loads of these. There's loads of different types on those sites for upgrading your road car or your race car. I mean, there's some good things about it, I suppose, like the anodized red sort of on clip, if you like, which they obviously had some sort of bar system that goes across this one, which they decided to take off, which is a bit of a shame. But as you can see, all they've done is added this spring plunger mechanism to it, to a standard fly-off aftermarket handbrake, and they've added some electronics. Now the electronics in there are quite interesting for me because a lot of my videos use the same electronic board, and so I'm going to just quickly take this apart and show you how it operates, in case it gives you some inspiration for a project of your own. You should be able to modify any similar style handbrake to work like this if you so wish. I mean, it's a considerable saving over like the Husingveld load cell handbrake, which is a couple of £100. But it doesn't, at the moment anyway, it doesn't feel anything like as good. Okay, so underneath this component, this clevis component, is a magnet glued on, and in here is a Hall effect sensor, and underneath is an Arduino Pro Micro. Total cost of the components to do this electronics project, if you wanted to do it, probably £10 tops. So yeah, it should be fairly straightforward to adapt any handbrake with this kind of electronics. I'll try and add the links to the electronic components to the video description, just for completeness. The plunger mechanism, they've retained the mounting holes for the master cylinder, and they've made up this plate with a hole in, and literally just put a coach bolt, M8 coach bolt, coach bolt into through a little nylon bush, polyurethane bush, big washer, coil spring, another big washer, and a lock nut. and that's the whole plunger mechanism. So like I say, I think the main gripe with the whole handbrake is the feel of this linear spring. So I bought this on Amazon, which is a bit of polyurethane rod. Again, I'll put the link to it in the description. It's inch diameter. It already comes with an 8mm hole up it. So I've cut myself a bit off, similar length to the spring. I've made it a little bit shorter because there was a bit of preload in the spring. And fit it back in. Now immediately it's obviously a lot stiffer, but it's much more in keeping with the sort of feeling, the sort of spring rate you get from a handbrake, especially a competition car handbrake, where they're stiffer anyway. So I think that's a useful upgrade. And I think you'll find that this makes this handbrake a whole lot more fun to drive. You've got a range of tuning options. Obviously you can make this polyurethane rods shorter. You could put spacers in to make it stiffer if you wanted. You could maybe put a small short coil spring in the head of it to give you a little bit of more free play, which would probably be even more realistic. You could get a smaller diameter, because they do them in different range of diameters. Smaller diameter, that'll be a bit softer. I did also buy this red one, which is harder, and I've used this before on brake pedals, but this feels probably a little bit too stiff like this at the moment, but you can have a play. And unless it's attached to a rig and actually playing the game, I probably wouldn't be able to tell whether or not I like how much I like it or not, or whether it needed tuning. But it's pretty much there. This is definitely a hell of a lot better than this thing. This handbrake's pretty poorly made. It's got quite a lot of slack in it, which, you know, I could tweak. I could drill one of these holes out and put a bush in it, make it a bit better. But you pay your money, you take your choice, take your chances, don't you, with these sort of things. Anyway, so I hope you find that useful. If you want a cheap handbrake, definitely recommend doing this upgrade. And I'll try and provide a bit more details on the electronics. Maybe in future we'll make something up using a Hall effects sensor. Probably a throttle pedal actually, because I'm quite interested in doing that at the moment, and see how that works and see what we can come up with. Okay, well, thanks for taking the time to watch. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers at the moment, so I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Once I've gone over 1,000 subscribers, there's a few more tools that YouTube allow you to use to make better videos. So, and until the next time, thanks for watching.